Juan Soto is one of the best players in the world. The Yankees are still unsure if they can re-sign him in the offseason. Every single player that has been up for a contract or the Yankees have brought in to renegotiate a new contract, they usually land their guy. So it's not something that the Yankees usually lose a guy that is already there.
Even if you couldn't sign him, but you were able to win a World Series, then it's all worth it. Because you think about the guys that you signed the long-term contracts and you're hoping you win at least one time. And you might have signed them for, these days, 10, 12, 13 years. It's interesting because I thought after the move San Diego made last year, and I didn't think they needed to acquire a shortstop, but they did and gave him a monster contract. And then Machado could walk at the end of the year. They didn't let him walk and sign him to a 10-year plus bigger deal than he already had, a $300 million deal. And at that point, I was like, they must know they're not going to be able to sign Soto. You just spent so much money on all these other guys. I mean, nobody had more of these 10-year plus $300 million contracts than San Diego. So to me, it wasn't surprising that if they didn't win at some point, when you're losing Blake Snell and you're losing Hader and Lugo, that you're not going to have enough pitching. And so it made sense that they made the deal. They tried to win with Soto, thinking they would have him for 3 pennant races when they acquired him. It turns out it's only 2. And they probably didn't get back as much as what they traded to the Nationals. You look at where the age of Judge and Garrett Cole, 32, 33 years old, they're right in the middle of their prime now. This is your chance to win. And when you look at what the atmosphere was like at Yankee Stadium in the second half of last year, it wasn't good.
I was there. Trust me, I know.
You had a lot. I mean, the Nationals went in there and beat them 2 out of 3. And even then, Michael Kay asked me, and during that series, the Yankees TV broadcaster I went to college with at Fordham, do you think Soto could handle New York? So, I mean, people were talking about it back then, thinking whether they would trade for him, whether they would sign him when he became a free agent. Nothing phases Soto. I mean, you saw the big stage he was on coming in at 19 years old. His first game at Yankee Stadium, he had 2 home runs. One of them cleared the bullpens by 100 feet in right center field.
I know. I was at the game, by the way.
What he did in 2019, the postseason, the huge hit off Hader, home runs off Kershaw, decisive game of the division series with the Dodgers. And then, he homered off both Garrett Cole and Verlander, titanic shots in the World Series in Houston. Nothing phases him. So, New York's he's made for this. It doesn't hurt that you have a huge Hispanic fan base. He has family in New York from the Dominican. He's made for this.
I was at the game with, obviously, San Diego and the Yankees, and these 5 idiots are standing behind him, calling him all these names, saying he sucks, you're no good, you're never going anywhere, blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, you do realize that he could be a Yankee in the future. What are you screaming at him?
Those are the same people if Soto's playing the outfield and he's not fast and he's not a great outfielder, and if he doesn't make a great play when they need it to, they'll be the first ones to boo him just like they do anybody else. Those are the same idiots.
Yeah, so I want to ask about the contract for Juan Soto. What type of range do you think, one, he's going to want, Scott Boras is going to want, and is going to be realistic across the league?
Well, it's going to be interesting. So let's wait and see what Ohtani gets this year. Now, obviously, different kind of player. If Ohtani's going to pitch again, people look at him as like 2 players in one. Let's see. He's had 2 Tommy John surgeries now, so I'll believe if he's the same pitcher when I see him be the same pitcher. But you're talking about $500 million contract. This will be his age 25 year. So first year as a free agent, he'll be 26. How many years are you going to give him? It's interesting that Bryce Harper signed to that big deal with Philadelphia through age 39. Boras was floating Harper wanting an extension at the winter meetings. Wow. And he's still very early in this deal, which when you talk to Bryce and Boras, they felt like all the money the Phillies gave him paid for itself in the first 2 years by all of the tickets they sold, merchandise, just all the money they made off him coming to play there.